To say Lillard is a loyal soldier or he is a hard competitor would be an understatement. From the opening tip through the final buzzer, he plays tough the entire way. In fact, he gets better as the game goes on, especially during that late time, crunch time, known as Dame time. There is something that brings out an animal and a ruthless killer when Dame hits crunch time. In fact, he excels so much during this time, he dubbed it Dame time. You know, it's that time within the final few minutes of a tight ball game or half when he points to his wrist and mouths, "It's Dame time." We've seen the man hit big shot after big shot in his amazing career with Portland. If you want to see and hear about some of his biggest shots, please check out our other video titled, "Why is Damian Lillard always ending NBA players' careers with one shot?" Dame time is said to have originated when young Dame was playing on his AAU team in 2006 at Santa Clara University. His team was down 20 points at halftime, and his coach pulled the young man to the side and asked if he knew how to take over the game. His teammates from that game noticed his mannerisms and attitude changed the moment he was asked that. He had a completely different outlook, a swagger, and a stone-cold look that he took to the court. Young Dame methodically carved out the defense in the second half and was taking over the game with key jump shots and dribble drives to the hoop. His team was down by 3 with a minute left. You already know that he hit a 3 and tied the game, because that's what he does. He's cold-blooded. However unfortunate, but still very hysterical, young Dame immediately took his shirt off on the court after hitting that shot. Needless to say, there was a technical called and they lost by 1. But in that moment, his teammates, coaches, and most importantly, young Dame knew that he had what it takes to take games over and be a leader. At that moment is when Dame time was truly brought to life. When was the first game you watched Damian Lillard and thought, now this guy is a superstar and a big-time clutch performer? Please let us know in the comments. But before we jump in, please remember that if you've enjoyed the video thus far and can't wait to hear more about how great Damian Lillard is during Dame time, I literally stopped typing to point at my wrist, please remember to hit the like and subscribe button and make sure to tell your friends and family about the journey we are about to embark on. Now let's dive in a bit deeper. To say that Lillard is special during Dame time is an understatement. We know what he's done and who he has done it against, but how can we back up our opinions? Well, let's start with the number of 50-point games with Dame. Lillard has 11. Yes, 11 50-point games in his career, moving him ahead of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and tying him for 8th all-time with Allen Iverson. Now that is some incredible company to be associated with. And when he drops 50-point parades on teams, he is also entering Dame time. How? Well, let's point to when he knocked the OKC Thunder out of the playoffs last year. During the game, he dropped 50 points, hit the game-winning buzzer beater, which was a deep, deep three-point bomb in the playoffs, to send the Oklahoma City Thunder packing for the offseason. Seriously, watching that clip still gives me chills. Also, Lillard joined elite company this past regular season, joining Wilt Chamberlain as the only players in the NBA history with 3 60-plus games in one season. And Lillard's latest one in the season couldn't have come at a better time, as the Trailblazers were fighting for the final playoff spot. And to no one's surprise, he rose to the occasion and got his team into the final spot of the Western Conference seedings. Lillard has also historically performed better when the game has been on the line. As stated before, crunch time is the last few minutes of the game or half. During his second year in the league, Lillard went 19 for 43, 44.2% from three-point range while playing crunch time minutes. This was actually a better percentage than his career average, 37.2% from behind the three-point line. Can you imagine your player doing better during crunch time than the regular time? I think that is unbelievable. Can you guys name a player who you think excels during crunch time like this? Now, if you take a look at this season, and even before the extra play-in game against the Memphis Grizzlies when, per usual, Dame elevated his game during crunch time, the Portland star has stepped up when it mattered most. In fact, late into the bubble, the Clippers, specifically Pandemic P and Patrick Beverley, waved bye to him because he missed free throws to end the game, rare misses for him during clutch time, and that set a spark in him that led his team back into the playoffs. During this crunch time, Lillard amassed 29 assists. Dame was tied with Luka Doncic for the second best, leading all-time players except for LeBron James. Lillard has also scored 122 points in crunch time this year, according to NBA.com, which ranks him 6th best. Plus, let's not forget that he has taken the 4th most clutch shots out of everyone this season as well. The secret to sinking the daggers, Lillard believes, is being okay with clanking it. The fear of not failing, unlike LeBron James, is what makes him more clutch shots. then missing it because he is relaxed and comfortable with the failure. If you're wondering about the LeBron James reference just now, check out our other video, NBA Players' Worst Fears. Lillard turned heads and made himself into a household name as the most valuable player in the seeding games during the clutch time minutes. There is no doubt that Lillard is a superstar during the duration of an entire game, but when you look further into his games played, and especially during the bubble, Dame showed that he is able to step up when it matters the most. During clutch time in the NBA bubble, Lillard averaged and scored the most points, 36, and assists, 10, during clutch time among all players in the bubble. Dame time has been alive and well for years, starting with his AAU team and all the way through the NBA bubble in Orlando. And the big moments are the spots where Lillard routinely rises to the occasion. Here's a cool and eye-popping fact for you guys. Only 2 players in NBA history have hit multiple walk-off series-clinching shots with no time left on the clock. Damian Lillard, Michael Jordan. The final few minutes of an NBA game should just be known as Dame time, because Lillard always seems to find a way when it counts.